Modern vehicles are quietly removing your ability to self-rescue. The world moved. Most people didn't notice, because the change came wrapped in leather seats, touchscreens, Bluetooth, and a monthly payment low enough to emotionally survive for 72 months. So people assumed everything was improving. But something strange happened quietly. Modern vehicles got smarter, and the driver got progressively more helpless. That is a fascinating direction for civilization. Past. A flat tire used to be irritating. That was it. You pulled over, opened the trunk, grabbed the spare, used the jack. Maybe your uncle showed up in flip-flops carrying one rusty wrench and supreme confidence. Maybe somebody's grandfather fixed the whole situation while eating peanuts and insulting the manufacturer. But the point is, you could leave. The machine failed. The human adapted. Now, modern vehicles are different. Now the car has lane assist, driver monitoring, collision avoidance, voice recognition, remote updates, heated seats, cooling seats, camera systems, parking sensors, satellite tracking, and enough computing power to monitor your emotional decline in real time. But somehow, no spare tire. That's incredible. Your vehicle can detect if your eyelids moved incorrectly at 2:13 a.m. But one nail from a roofing trailer turns the whole machine into an expensive meditation retreat on the shoulder of Interstate 10. That's where we are now. Civilization built a car smart enough to judge you, but not smart enough to survive a screw. No spare tire. Special lug nuts. Run flat tires that emotionally collapse after 14 miles. Electronic parking brakes. Hidden batteries. Dealer-only resets. Apps required for access. Subscription features. Subscription features. Human beings are now financing emergency functionality back to themselves monthly. That is an elite-level civilization plot twist. And people accepted all of this because the dashboard lights up like a nightclub. That's modern civilization. Nobody asks, "Can I recover from failure?" They ask, "Does it have wireless charging?" That is how dependency enters society now. Not through force, through convenience. Next, the next stage gets even stranger. Vehicles will become more connected, more automated, more software-controlled, more subscription-locked, and increasingly impossible for the average operator to independently recover from. The machine becomes smarter. The human becomes an accessory. And everybody applauds because the cup holder is temperature-controlled. You think you are in control. You're making decisions every day. But something has already changed. Your behavior is being tracked. Your patterns are being analyzed. Your decisions are being influenced. Most people don't even see it. They just keep moving, keep reacting, keep thinking everything is normal. This is where most people stay. Confused. Not because they don't know anything, but because they're not applying what they already know. Confusion. Clarity. Control. Gaimed reveals what's controlling you. Here's the friction. Modern vehicles are quietly removing your ability to self-rescue. That's the friction. Most people believe, if something happens, I'll just call roadside assistance. That's the problem. Because that belief assumes an absurd number of things all work simultaneously. Your phone works. Your battery is charged. You have signal. The app opens. Your location loads. The payment clears. The service answers. The weather cooperates. The area is safe. And a man named Trevor accepts your rescue mission before sunrise. That is a lot of faith for a flat tire. And civilization normalized this so smoothly, people barely question it. Now you have people standing beside a $70,000 vehicle, in the rain, with no spare tire, watching a spinning loading symbol decide whether they survive inconvenience tonight. That's not automotive engineering anymore. That's digital feudalism with leather upholstery. And watch how absurd this gets. The more advanced the system becomes, the less capable the average person becomes without the system. Everything now is call support, wait for assistance, download the app, verify identity, reset password, accept cookies before escaping danger. Civilization really created a future where a grown adult can operate a vehicle with 400 horsepower, but cannot access the battery without watching a 14-minute tutorial narrated by a teenager named Cody. That's the trap. A simple mechanical failure becomes a situational trap. Not because the tire failed, but because the recovery capability was removed before the emergency happened. That's the loop. First, the system removes independent recovery. Then it sells convenience. Then it increases specialization. Then it trains dependency. Then, when pressure arrives, the operator freezes. So now the problem is no longer just mechanical. It becomes environmental. Where are you? Who is nearby? Can you leave? Can you communicate? Can you defend yourself? Can you recover without permission from infrastructure? That's when a flat tire stops being funny. Because if you cannot leave, your options shrink. And when your options shrink, risk expands. Civilization quietly transformed. I can fix this into, I hope the network still cares about me. That is not control. That is dependency with premium sound. So here's what you do. You slow it down. You look at the pattern. You identify where you reacted instead of chose. Then you create one simple rule. If my vehicle removes self-recovery capability, I will create a recovery plan before pressure happens. That is where control begins. Most people won't even do that. They'll watch this, laugh, agree, feel slightly uncomfortable, then continue financing a rolling iPad with headlights and no backup plan. Nothing changes. But if you actually apply this, you start seeing patterns most people never notice. That's where clarity begins. That's where control begins. Gaimed is built around one objective, helping you reduce confusion, reduce wasted motion, reduce hesitation, reduce bad decisions, reduce reactive behavior, and increase control over your actions, systems, and money. Most people lose money slowly, not only through bills, but through bad timing, poor decisions, distraction, hidden dependency, emotional reactions, missed opportunities, lack of structure, and repeated patterns they never stop to examine. Gaimed exists to help you see those patterns earlier. Because when people begin making clearer decisions consistently, they often waste less money, recover time, avoid traps, move faster, notice opportunities earlier, and operate with more advantage. That advantage often becomes profit over time. Not because Gaimed promises magic, but because clearer operators usually produce better outcomes. This is why Gaimed is structured as an execution system, not passive entertainment. The goal is not just information. The goal is execution, awareness, control, and applied action. And if you want to take control of this immediately, I created a step-by-step Gaimed vehicle self-rescue snapshot system for this signal. It is designed to be executable immediately. It is step-by-step, easy to follow, beginner-proof, built for real implementation, designed to reduce confusion, designed to reduce hesitation, and structured so you can actually complete the action instead of just consuming more information. This is not theory. You do not need to be an expert. You simply follow the process. The goal is less hesitation, less confusion, more clarity, more control, faster execution. Click the link in the description to purchase. Purchase it. Apply it. Complete the step. Most people won't take that step. That's why nothing changes. Confusion, clarity, control. Take control. Gain the advantage. Gaimed equals advantage.